All right, what up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? So today I want to talk about word magic, and this is something that we talk about, every now and then. But this is something that's vitally important to our experience, to how we interact with the world, how we interact with each other. And it's very important to understand the power of your word as we're going through, the Kabbalah, and learning the different Kabbalistic letters and going through that whole um, level of reality. The importance of your words and the importance of understanding word magic, and even phonetically, in the Western mind, we tend to think, just because something's spelled different, it doesn't mean the same thing. But most definitely study phonics. Study the Phoenician language. That's where phonetics comes from, and understanding when you pronounce a word, it's a certain vibration, a certain frequency that's attached to that, outside of your intent. What up, Soul? What up, Natasha, Mary Velis, Jay, Jimbo? How are you guys doing? So, this is something that I love this, this topic. I love discussing this topic because words really is a really big thing for me, and understanding how we look and relate to the words that we use, and how to use your words in a more masterful way. That was the opposite of where I was going. Oh, hey Carson, how you doing? So when we're going to go through this, we're going to talk about some of the word magic stuff. If you guys have any questions, any input that you want to put in between, you know, um, discussing different topics when it comes to word magic, because you see it all around us every day. The way that the world was created is through the word. In the beginning of the Bible, in the beginning there was a word, and then the word was with God, and some versions of the word is God, and the word was God. So the power of your words is very, very, very important. That's why it's called spelling, because you're casting a spell. Any word that has the suffix ment means mental, mind. The first principle of hermetics is everything is mental, everything is mind, right? Also, when you say, oh, that's not what I meant, not what I minded. It's not what was supposed to come from my mind, right? So, looking at these concepts and ideas, and how the words and that you speak, this is your enchantment. It's the inner talk of your mind. This is what gives you your reality. This is what creates the astral substance and the vibrations which are emanating from your spirit into your experiences, is how you use your words. And there's levels to it, but this is the primary foundation. And the more you can understand word magic, the easier it is for you to navigate through life, because it matters, to a very large degree. Speak no evil has been such a focus for me lately, and that's why we're here. you know, Weekend says, I love that. This is a topic teaching my toddler phonics right now. Yeah. You can think about like simple things, right? When even in the Bible, right? In the beginning, there was the word, right? And the word was with God, and God creates through words. And they say we're made in God's image, made in God's imagination, as mind. And we are also creators. So when we create the things that we say, and once again, enchantment means the inner talk of your mind. It is the spell in which you cast through your mind, which gives you your experience through the use of your word. It's not just what you speak, it's what you speak in your mind, right? Because you can say something, but if your intention in what you're speaking and vibrating, reverberating through the ether is different, that's what you get, because you're speaking it, internally. Only, and the law of manifestation starts up here. It doesn't start, physically. So the speak of your mind is very, 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 very important. And even looking at the word like grammar, right? This is why when we understand word magic, right? What is a book of magic? What is a magician's diary? And then book of magic, it's a grimoire, it's same thing. So your grammar matters, and how you speak, what you speak, your intentions behind it, it all matters. um I still feel for the people that are in the system, and the so-called matrix, right? And It's an interesting thing to really look at because I tend to look at it on a non-dual level, but it's important to see it for the duality that it is, because people's idea of what the matrix is different depending on the level in which they inhabit and the realms that they inhabit. Is the matrix a thing? Yes, to a degree. Is it what most people think it is? Not at all. It's a matrix in which we create ourselves. The essence of your spirit is the totality of everything. But the matrix in which we are subject to, once again, it's the frequency of your mind. It's the inner talk of your mind. Just like government, the matrix will govern your mind. And then the literal government, that's what the government is. It's literally a system meant to control your mind and have a huge influence on the way that you interact with the world. And most of it is not real. This is why everything that's set up legally and in the capacity to control society is all word magic. The courts, legalese, the way your straw man, your capital name, it's all word magic, 100% of it. And you can look at how the system is created. Even United States being a corporation, it's a corporation. It's not a country per se. It's a legal corporation. And even looking at the word corporation, it's corpse oration. It's corpse, like it's dead. It's not a living entity. Just like every other corporation, it's separate from a natural living being, and that's what a corporation is. And the corporation is meant to, it has this government system to govern the minds of people who are in the system within this corporation. And that's how they control you, is through governing your mind, not through actual, you have to do this, you have to do that, this is what's real in reality. But if they govern your thoughts, right, government, if they can control your thinking process and the way you view reality using word magic, then you're subject to this matrix in which they have created. And in all ways they give you this false reality of what life is. And literally you can just step outside of it. It's not this thing you have to like literally escape. It's not like the Matrix movies or anything like that, and it's these agents tracking you down and stuff like that. Unless that's how you want it. And a lot of people they go in that level. There's a lot of people. I've met people, physicists that I've met in Sedona. I've met like a lot of psychic people and people that own corporations and all types of stuff. And a lot of them live in that dualistic astral realms right above the Matrix, and they're they get in this weird delusional space in which people are gang stalking them, or the CIA and FBI is after them, and all this other weird type of karma that they attach to themselves. But that's not really a thing unless you say these are my enemies, and you're just out here gang banging, and creating a lot of unnecessary karma and chaos within your experience. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people will be like, the Matrix is a specific thing in this organization, and they're out to kill you. And of course, if you're, bad mouthing the CIA and doing all this other stuff or whatever, yeah, they might come after you. Or you can teach people, hey, you're not subject to this. You want to make your life easier or whatever. This is how it all works, because it's a type of magic. It's word magic. And none of it is essentially real. And you can look at how the government functions, right? You can look at how the government functions. Look at court. It's a game. Life is a game. It's the game of life. And if you don't understand the rules of the game, you're going to lose. If you have no understanding of spiritual law, right, and the spells, word magic, the universal knowledge and how creation actually functions, then you're going to not be very good at the game. And yes, you will be caught up in the matrix. And once again, like I said, look at the courts, right? You can look at the judge who judges the game within the court. What happens on the court? You play a game. And also, you want to know how magical it is, right? The judge is also called what? A magi straight, right? What is a magi? Or magus is a magician, right? What is a straight? Who channels? The judge is literally somebody who channels the word magic and rules over it, right? And that's why you are the defendant in this game that you're playing in the court, you know. And none of it's real. If you subject yourself to it, if you don't know the rules of it, if you just let them do whatever you let them do to you, they're going to do it. I promise you that. They're going to do it. And if you know the rules of the game, they're going to know that they cannot do it. Because most of the laws out there, you know, so every lawyer friend that you know, most of them are not, they don't really apply in the way that you think they apply as a natural living being. But if you subject yourself to them, just, oh yeah, just because this is, you know, the way that most people, you know, interact with society and the court system, you know, and they just give up their rights and everything else as a natural being, then you just subject yourself to it. So that's why disclaimers are important. Yeah, listen, um, I've said this story before. I remember I had to go to court for a traffic ticket. This was like 12, 13 years ago, right? And when I went up there, and this is in the middle, like first of all, most of the people that end up in court, especially traffic court, are all the people that they keep ignorant. Like literally, the people that are in the kindergarten, the children garden, in which they they hoard all the children so they can train them to be victims of the system in public school and everything else. So you know they're the same people that do that whole thing. They run the court system, so they never teach you what's really going on, and you're subject to that. They just think I'm just some regular old person, right? And as I'm there, everybody that's in court, you know, because I was like one of the last people they called. So I sat in this courtroom for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And everybody that went up there, hey Tyra True, everybody went up to the bench. The judge would say something to them, and they would just like they wouldn't question it, like nothing. They'll just like, here you go, sign this paper. All right, you're on, you know, parole or probation for 2 years, or here you go, you're about to get locked up for 2 years, and like nobody questioned anything. The whole 2.5, 3 hours I sat in this courtroom, everybody was like, okay, here I go, boom. Didn't look at the paper they had to sign, nothing. They're just like, I accept this as my fate. I'm reading the book the whole time I'm there, and you know, I get up to the judge, and I owed a bunch of money. I owed these people like $5,000. You know, I like in like in traffic fees and whatever, you know, it was. And I get up there, and the judge is like trying to intimidate me, right? He's the magistrate. He's channeling the magic, right? And he's talking trash. He's like, oh, you know, it doesn't look good for you. And the prosecutor wants to throw the book at you and this and that. And I'm like, you know, sure, whatever. He's like, here, you know, you're going to be on probation for this long and you're going to have to pay this much and this and that. And he hands me the paper. Now, I'm not putting my name on anything unless I completely read it, you know. I am not going to contract onto this contract. I want to expand. I don't want to contract, you know. And I read the paper, and I go to the first page. This is interesting. I flip to the second page, and I start reading, and I'm like, oh, what is this? The moment I got to the second page, the judge was like, hold on. He like stopped me dead in my tracks because I was about to ask some questions. I was like, nah, I'm reading this whole document. You're not going to rush me or anything. I'm reading this whole document. When I got to the second page, the judge stopped me dead in my tracks and was like, Ralph, when can you pay this? I'm like, bro, I can pay it like next week. You know, I got, you know, money coming in. I got you. I can pay the whole thing off in like a week or two or whatever. No questions asked. He was like, you're free to go. I'll set a, you know, just pay it. And, you know, you have, you know, even if you don't pay it in a couple weeks, I'll see you in 6 months or something like that. But if you pay it, you don't have to worry about it. He just let me go. When before I read the contract that he wanted me to sign, that everybody else in court just signed, never asked a question or anything else. I just started reading it, and he was like, "Hold on, stop right there, don't read anymore. You're free to go. Just make sure you pay it sometime." And when before that, you know, it doesn't look good for you, Ralph. RJ, it does not look good. You're going to be locked up. We're going to be, you know, and that's how they do it because it's magic. It's word magic. They want to control your mind. And if you don't understand, right, the rules of this game that you're playing, then you are going to lose that game. Same thing with life. It says, what should we study to know court stuff? Legalese. Talk to any lawyers and it's on TikTok. Literally, look through TikTok. There's all types of people in law school. A couple of people said they quit law school because they understood law. They started to understand the law and was like, oh, most people become lawyers and stuff like that. And you put all this time and energy and money into this this job, and you get paid a lot. They're not just going to say, oh, this is just how it works. This is my job. This is what I signed up for. Same thing with doctors. It's a lot of real doctors out there that understand it. And if it's the same thing. Same thing with doctors. If you go to the hospital and you understand the body, you understand yourself, they're not just going to give you just a bunch of random drugs. But if you're not knowledgeable about what's happening, they will literally prescribe you anything. And if you're just like, okay, yeah, you're a doctor, I'm just going to trust you, and that's it, then you just give away your rights. And then they have a client, they have a customer, and for as long as they can, and then it's sad that it's like that, but that's the thing, that's a thing. He said, would you ever sign a contract? Depending on what it is, a subconscious relationship. Yeah. But it's funny because I was talking to Dr. Earl about this because, he went to a doctor because he had some health stuff that he was working through like a couple years ago. And he spoke to the doctor, oh, this is what I'm doing. Before that, they were like, oh, you need to take this blood pressure medicine and this and that. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. This is what I'm doing. They're like, oh, yeah, you got it. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing that. But a second ago, before you knew I knew what was going on, you were telling me that I had to do all this other stuff, So, like I said, knowledge is power, and it's really interesting because, like I said, right now we live in a place where all knowledge is available. You can learn anything. You can learn anything. So I suggest before you engage in something, blindly, make sure that you look it up, study it, It's one of the reasons why they want to get rid of TikTok, because everything on Facebook, on Instagram, they control it completely, 100%. And it's all, the algorithm is whatever you think, that's what you get. It's not going to go outside the box of what you already look at. The people that already have the same thoughts and feelings, and this is going to be a projection through the algorithm of what you already, subscribe to. This is what we want you to think and what we want you to view. And that's it. TikTok different. TikTok, you'll come up, you're going to learn some stuff. You just flip through it or whatever. Hey, do you ever hear about this? So you can reach more people in a more organic way, and they have no control over it. They want to control your mind more, and they can't do that when people have the freedom to express themselves and to exchange information, to exchange words, and to break the spells that, have been casted through, the government, the ones that want to, govern your mind. Says new system created. Yeah, that's why do you think reality is what it is now? Why do you think so many people are awakened? And this is a part of it. Why do you think it's called TikTok? In the grand scheme of things, the divine essence of everything, time, TikTok, that's all we have. The movement of energy is measured through time. That's what creates time. Time is not real, but the movement of energy and the freedom to move and express energy freely, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. They have no control over it. Everything is everything. All is all, everything is everything. So it's really, really, beautiful to see how, us being able to use our words and use our magic to cast out these spells and things like that have been brought on by the lower levels that try to keep you there, right? Because that's what astral things are. They're sticky. They're meant to bind your mind into lower levels and delusions of duality to keep you within that system. Look at politics. It's not real. I promise you. Everybody, none of it is real. If you think that the people that run the corporation of the United States are like, you know what? The people in which we govern, right? The government that controls the minds of people. You know what? The people in which we want to control, You guys have the freedom to decide everything that happens. And even looking at the word magic within the political voting system, when you go to vote, where do you go? You go to a poll, POLL, or even POLE, a poll, like a electric poll. You cast your vote, or your VOLT, your vote. You're putting your energy into this poll, right? To put somebody in charge. You're charging up someone to, control the government, to control the minds of others. It's a literal thing, and like I said, this is why phonetics is really, really important, right? Everything is energy. Everything is literally described through energy. Even the way that language is formed, that letters are formed, they're all sigils that are tied to a divine energy frequency, a thing. They're sigils, and it's really, really, beautiful to be able to see it. So the weirdest thing, I'm driving, was not even on my phone. TikTok turned on and popped you on. Listen, spirit is outside. Listen, everything is everything. Literally, do not think that your electronics are outside of the magic that is. I'm just letting y'all know that, especially when it comes to this, and for those of y'all that's in the course and practicing hermetics and everything else, like literally, the more that you're connected through the vibrational scale, the more influence you have through the entire vibrational scale, and your electronics, there ain't nothing separate, that's magic. Literally. It's magic. You know what vitamins are? And minerals are crystals. You know what powers your phone? Crystals. You know why magicians and witches use crystals? Because they are energy storage devices, and you can charge these crystals up with anything. How do you think your phone works? All the components and everything else is made with crystals and minerals. Same thing, all the vitamins and stuff that you use, all the same thing. It's all magic. And then it's charged up with energy, light, and they teach that crystal, that rock, how to compute certain things for that magic to take place. It's a literal thing. So don't think that anything is outside of that. Everything in all of creation stems from the elements, from God, from electromagnetic forces, and from the word. And it is really, really beautiful to look at that. Even looking at word magic, universe meaning one song, or one poem, one verse. It's the song of creation, right? The melodies of the spheres. But what y'all got to say about this? What up, Dawn? I see you in here. What are y'all thoughts on this? And like I said, don't get caught up in any of the word magic that's out there, because it's none of it's real. And this is the funniest thing. And the people that's caught in it, if you dare say that it's not real to them, they will flip their stuff. What do you mean this isn't real? You cannot let this person win. You got to vote for this. And this is their whole everything is just bound to these things that they were told were important. Look at the news. Look at the news, right? Look in social media to, mainstream media. Do you really think the information in which you are bombarded with, do you think this is the most important stuff that you need to focus your awareness and time and energy on? Any of it? Out of all things in the infinite universe, do you think what they tell you to focus on right here in this space and time, do you think that's the most important thing that's happening throughout the entire cosmic hierarchy? Do you? Or do you think it's just what they want you to pay attention to? Where they want your mind to go. They want to govern your mind to pay attention to this specific frequency, idea, concept in this time, so you can charge that thing up. Remember that energy flows where your attention goes, and you are literally paying attention. You are intending your inner ion towards a specific thing, and you are charging it up and giving it power. You are giving these things your power that you're paying attention to. The less you pay attention to it, the less you are attached to it, and the less that it shows up into your actual reality. And I mean this. And I mean this in the most magical, beautiful way possible, in the most mundane way possible. But the more you ground your energy and pay attention to things that don't serve you, the more you're going to charge that thing up, and the more it's going to be a part of your reality. You know, it says that's why we're fed the idea of the American dream. Yeah, and like I said, in understanding the nature of creation, and for everybody that's in the Kabbalah class, look at the universe. Look at every other natural being in the entire universe and how they navigate through life and how they interact with life, and how the universe provides everything that they need. Everything. There's not a being with a physical form on the face of this planet that does not come into this world with everything that they need to survive. It's the nature of reality. And I promise you that it's the nature of reality. Before they say, oh, you need to have this job, you need to be this, to govern the mind and tell you this is important, that is important, put your energy here, pay attention to this is what life is, and everything else, before they attach these labels and things in a way that you experience and relate to your life, word magic, right? Do you think that we are outside of that? Do you think that the universe is not in its default state providing everything that you need to survive and to function in this realm that we call the physical world? Or do you think that we're in this place that you gotta work really hard, you gotta get this specific job, and you have to climb up the ladder and go into debt and do all this? Do you think that is the basis of creation? Do you see that in any other aspect of all of creation whatsoever? You ever see a bird get a 60-year loan on a nest? You ever see that? And it's really hard to like I said, for people to really get this and grasp this, because they're, of course I know some of y'all probably thinking right now, well, but we have to pay because listen, the nature of this entire reality and the universe is abundance. Everything is abundant. There's no lack of anything. And I mean that. Of anything. But if you tell yourself there is, you're cutting yourself off of your infinite abundance and supply. And this don't make sense to somebody that's in poverty. It doesn't. It does not. They cannot wrap their head around, what do you mean? And where's my abundance? Well, like I said, because your mind is controlled by this idea and concept, right? The inner talk of your mind, the enchantment of your mind is grounded and founded upon poverty or lack, or there's never enough, or you got to work really hard, and all these things that aren't true unless you make it true, unless it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. We come into this world. We come into this world financed by the universe. And the more you can open up your mind, the more you can open up your astral awareness, your heart, and your physical channels for that abundance to flow through, the more you can receive it. But if you have it made up that this is not real, or there's lack everywhere and everybody's suffering and then all these things, just because you see it, that don't make it real. Listen, just because you see it, that does not make it real. And there's so many ways I could go with this, but I don't want to get canceled. Just because you see it, that does not make it real. And I'm just going to leave it at that. That does not make it real. Yes, there's poor people everywhere. I'm living outside of LA. It's Skid Row, homeless people and everything like that. But that's because they chose they chose that. That's what they decided to be their reality. And I mean this, and this is 99%. I used to be homeless. I can guarantee you right now, the majority of the people is because they choose drugs primarily over anything else. There's very few people that's like, oh, none of my life choices brought me here. It's all outside of my control. There's very, very few people that's a literal thing for, But once again, just because you see it does not make it real. We come into this world financed by God, and the more that you can open up your mind and your heart and your physical experience for those channels to flow through, you got it. You got it. You become a channel for that. You channel everything. Back to word magic, television, channel, programming. Whatever you tell your vision, you are programming yourself and becoming a channel for that thing, whatever it is. Whatever it is, wherever you place your attention, right? Wherever you place your attention, attention is really close to antenna. Whatever you tune into, that's what you channel. That's what you are programming your reality to be. It's what you're telling your vision, telling the way that you view the world and interact with your reality. But it could be anything you want it to be. It does not have to be what you believe it to be right now, what you've been told it is, the way your parents perceived it or anything like that. That's what magic is. It's understanding reality. When I was younger, all the different cartoons I watched, all the video games and stuff like that, who I resonated with more than anything is the magician. That archetype has been me from birth until now. I'm going to continue to be that until I drop that title off, right? Because there's no way that you could be magic and not understand reality and how reality functions, and some people deny the magic aspect of themselves and don't even understand what magic is. There's no magic in the Harry Potter sense, but magic is literally having control of your mind, understanding the subconscious mind and how it reflects through your reality, through the different realms and spiritual hierarchy, understanding the subconscious mind and programming the subconscious mind for particular effects. And understanding your magic, understand your mind, your spirit and your mind, same thing. So the more you can tune into certain things and be a channel for what you program your mind, unless you allow the people that want to govern your mind, the government, unless you want them to be in control of it and keep you in this system or matrix, this false thing that's literally not real, then I really suggest that you take hold of your magic and program yourself, take control over your own mind. Right? This is what atonement is. At one mint, one mind, the universal mind, and being able to tune in and to expand into that at one mint with the universal mind, so you can allow those blessings to flow through. And I mean that. It's a really powerful thing, and of course, understanding the different realms and wherever you're at in consciousness right now. Remember, all the thought forms, all the doubt that you have, all the self-image things that you have, and the negative habits that you formed and things like that, those are all spirits. Those are all different levels of intelligence telling you, oh, that's not real. Oh, that can't be right. That, it's a level of consciousness. All the lower stuff tells you you can't do it. It's not real. This is not a thing. This is dualistic. It's either this or that. That's all the lower levels of consciousness. The higher levels of consciousness is cool, we're ascending, we're going, we're expanding. Everything in our life is expanding. But if you're in a state of any type of negativity or duality or whatever, there is a being that's a part of that realm that's telling you, no, that's not real, do this, do that, because that's how the mind works. You are an antenna. You are a transmitter and a receiver. And whatever channel you tune into, that level of consciousness, that's what speaks to you. Whatever religion you're in, whatever spiritual system you're in, if your mind is not grounded in the Akasha, the beings that are on that channel are going to tell you, think this way, feel this way. If you are bound to the physical realm and have no level of intuitive insight and just take everything for face value that you receive through the government and school and everything else, then that's the matrix that you have been programmed to view. You are tuned into that, and that's what rules your whole reality, even though none of it's real. You go up that level a little bit more. You're in the dualistic religious systems, and you're going to go to hell if you're this. Yes, the beings that are part of that system in those realms, they're going to tell you, oh, you're sinning. Oh, that's evil. Don't pay attention to that. Put the blinders on. That's what thought forms are. That's what emotional attachments and things, that they're spirits. That's what the subconscious mind is, the spiritual realms. Everything within magic is how do you program your subconscious. It's placebo, all of it. Spirits, demons, they tell you how to think and feel. That's what consciousness is. You are a channel for consciousness. Everything about you is a channel. You're literally giving expression to everything that's out of form, and everything is living conscious energy. So any doubt you have in your mind is not real. Any lack you have in your mind, not real. Any type of, oh my God, the world is so horrible, not real. You're just in that realm, and all the different levels of intelligence that want to keep you there so they can, so they can channel through you and get expression in this physical realm. That's how spiritual things work, because that's what you're tuning into, that astral thing, and it's all magic. It's all magic. What up, sovereign soul? So if you want to, take ownership of your own sovereignty, it's understanding these principles, developing your mind, and overcoming these aspects, these spiritual aspects. And when people say, oh, there's a war in the astral and this and that, yeah, if you subscribe to it, if you tell yourself, yeah, and all the other beings and levels of consciousness is on that channel, yeah, come on, let's go to war. We got to kill these demons. All these other things, The higher level is, okay, cool. How can we, transcend the demons? Because what's the difference between a demon and an angel? Please tell me. Somebody, please. Tell me. Drop it in the comments. And what up, AJ777444? How do y'all feel about this? Y'all awfully quiet. Let me know. How do you guys feel about this? What are your thoughts about this? It is really, really cool. The main topic is we're talking about word magic, right? And once again, the words that you tell yourself, that's your enchantment, the inner talk of your mind. And there's external things that can control the inner talk of your mind. Everything, every feeling, every urge, every habit, everything, these are all spiritual things. They're all levels of consciousness that seek to express itself through you. There is nothing, this is how they say, like, you are God, right? Right? In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God, or the Word was with God, depending on which one you look at. Right? So the words in which you give expression to, that light in which your mind merges into and gives you an urge to act upon or whatever, that is consciousness. That's a thing. Nothing outside of form gets expression in the physical reality without you being a channel. Nothing. The essence of your spirit is God, and everything in which you experience you can only experience through you. You cannot experience it through anybody else or anything else. You give it expression through the light of your mind, all of it, 100% of everything that's in your whole reality. And you can pick and choose what that is. And it can always work in your favor, or it can always work against you. Or it could be a mix. And most people are in that mix stage, especially if you're just starting your journey and haven't really gained control or groundedness within your mind. It is very easy to be ruled by external forces and not have that type of mental strength to overcome it, And like I said, just pay attention, take things as they are. Listen to the phonetic expression of things outside of like what you believe it to be. So I need to hear some of that. This is right on time for me. I've been allowing myself to think negative lately. And like I said, and especially when you're at a point where you're going to change and overcome and transcend the level that you're in, you're going to raise up to that next level. Everything, within your psyche, within your emotions, the things that you've identified with for a very long time, they have a really strong grasp on you. And it's going to feel uncomfortable, to let go of them. And they can sense their mortality and their expression through you is slipping. And it's going to make it feel uncomfortable. It's going to literally, all those negative thoughts, all that doubt, all the negative self-image stuff is going to come up, because that's how these lower levels of consciousness express itself. That's why you go outside. Everything that's from the system, right, and in the lower realms is meant to put you in this contracted space. Go outside and you can just look at people, and most people are projecting their insecurities. That's what they're giving expression to. So all those lower beings, it's like, you're worthless, you're this and that. And that's what they literally are projecting that. Is it real? No, none of that stuff is real. Everybody's beautiful and just who they are, how they are. But because because of this, these lower levels are really easy to attach to. That's why so many people walk around with their head down. You can say something to them. You walk by, oh, good morning, how you doing? They just light up like, oh my God, somebody's speaking to me. Yeah, get out of that contracted state. And It's not just words that do it. It's all types of other stuff. It's all types of things. But where you place your mind and what you choose to pay attention to, that's what you're going to give expression. So I suggest, for everybody, it's different ways that you can invoke your highest. You can go into this constant stream of growth and evolution and raise up through some of the delusions and those lower dualistic realms. Remember, those are all the delusional realms, all the realms that are not true. And spiritual growth is about seeing higher levels of truth. All the lower stuff is all delusions. It's not real. You can look at people who are hateful. All the neo-Nazi. Not even that. It's hateful people of all races and colors and creeds from all over the world, and they're all delusional. They're all literally delusional. Well, this is true. Not really. And those lower realms are really easy to attach to. And it's really hard to let go of. But that's the light in which you will view everything from, is from those lower levels. You can look at all the different levels of light as different layers, and the higher levels you can see clearly. Oh, it's clear to me. You can look at anything that you pay attention to. Oh, the more you pay attention to it, the more you begin to equalize with it, and that thing becomes clear. Before you started paying attention to it, you knew nothing about it. It was a darkness. It was a shroud. You had no understanding. But the more you pay attention to it, oh, it's clear to me. Why do you think, when people say, oh, I'm clear-headed, I can see things clearly. You're moving from this lower, darker, denser realm in relation to something to a higher, more clarity-based ability to see things. And the lower levels, the dualistic, delusional levels, they're murky. They're dark, they're dense, and they're really hard to get through. But the more you raise up above that, the more things become clear, and the less delusion you have in your life. And I suggest you look at the things that affect you, right here, right now, the things that are a really big part of your consciousness. Your self-image, the way you view yourself and your environment and stuff like that. Look at that stuff first. Start alchemizing that, because it could be whatever you want it to be. If you tell yourself you're ugly, it's word magic. You're casting that spell on yourself, and you're going to make ugly decisions. You're going to buy ugly clothes. You're going to say, I'm not good enough, and this, that, and pity party, and you're going to become ugly because you cast that spell on yourself. Self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you say, hey, look, I'm beautiful, guess what? You start reversing the process. You're going to make beautiful choices, wear beautiful things, take better care of yourself, start smelling good. Literally, your whole psychology, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you feel is going to match that. It's the enchantment, the inner talk of your mind that you give expression to, that gives your whole reality, grounding. Is word magic. It's word. The word this is how you view and interact with your entire reality. So I suggest, once again, looking at the things that that you need to address right here, right now. If you have money issues, what's your relationship to money? Change it. Because it could be anything. If you think, oh my God, there's never enough, and I don't have enough money to do this and that, whatever it is, if that's what you believe is really hard, I got to work really hard to do this, and it's never, then change that. Change it. Work on it. Change the enchantment that you have in relation to that, because it could be whatever you want it to be. And I mean that. I mean this in the most magical way possible. And money is a big thing. Well, is a big thing for people, because people that grew up in poverty, they were taught negative, money things, and then they go through life being cheapskates. Oh, I'll never have enough. I need to make sure I get the cheapest of everything, and this and that, and that ain't gonna make you rich. That just tell you that you're just telling every single part of your being, I'm never going to make enough money. I always have to get the worst, and everything that's out there for me is at this level. But literally, you start changing your relationship to it, the way you see money, the way you view money, the way you think about money, the way you gain money, the people that you resonate with in order to take advantage of opportunities and stuff like that. It begins to change, because you start raising up into those realms and start resonating with people that are operating in that level. And you start opening up those doors. But if you tell yourself, oh my God, I got to get the cheapest everything, and everything's canned goods, and I can, always get shop at the 99-cent store and everything, that's it, then nothing in you is going to say, I can be rich. I can build wealth. Nothing in you can bring that, It's all about your relationship. Once again, that word magic, the inner talk of your mind, the enchantment, the spell in which you cast, a self-fulfilling prophecy in which you are the one that has control over it. Nothing else has control over it unless you give your power away. And it's your power. Remember, everything is energy. Everything, whatever you put your attention towards, you are giving it energy. You're giving your power, your energy to that thing and giving that expression. But it could be literally anything. Anything. You want to master yourself and leave your body every day and go into different realms, you can do it. But if you tell yourself, oh, that's not real, guess what? Boom, you stuck. You right here in 3D land and living the average life as everybody else. But you start changing your relationship to it. Oh, wow. I'm raising up this level of light and then start to relate to my experience completely different. But it applies to everything. If you have a bad self-image and, oh my gosh, I can't, I'll never deserve the love that I want, or the love that the love I deserve, I'll never have it. Boom, you're always going to be in horrible relationships. Nothing in your mind is going to say, oh, I'm better than this, or everything's going to be like, oh, I got to take what I can. There's nobody out there for me. And that because it's self-fulfilling prophecy. It's all a self-fulfilling prophecy. You fulfill that prophecy in which you in which you subscribe to, through the spells in which you cast on yourself. But it could be whatever you want it to be. Self-love, your self-image. Know that you are infinite and you can experience and be whatever it is you want to experience and be. Now, when we talk about earlier, the nature of reality in the universe and how every other being, everything that they need is provided for them. Same thing for you. The difference is you are the only being in this entire world that has the ability to pick and choose the channels in which that abundance flows through. You're the only being on this earth that has the ability to pick and choose which way you want to direct that energy for those channels to flow through. And that's part of being present. That's the gift of life. And being a human, it's the most powerful being. That's why they say we're made in God's image, in God's imagination, in the mind of God. The essence of that is you, and you are the only being that has the ability to pick and choose how you allow those channels to open up. So make sure it's working in your favor. Stop giving expression to all these lower things and tell you you're not good enough, or you're ugly, and look at your crooked eye, or maybe my mustache is a little off to the side, and all the other stuff. None of that matters. Tell yourself, I'm beautiful. Everything that I want coming my way. Affirmations work very well. Talk about word magic, affirmations, self-hypnosis. Everything in magic is how do you get the subconscious mind to take on this concept and idea so you can experience it. The subconscious mind is the spiritual aspect of life. All of it. That's what your subconscious is. So the more you can program that, that's the level of light in which you view the world and interact through your entire reality through. So start changing it. Anything in your life that you do not like, you have the power to change. I shared the one Maya Angelou quote, like, anything you don't like, change it. Anything. Change it. And if you don't have the ability to change it, then change your relationship to it. Change your perception of it. Everything. That covers everything. Anything you can possibly view and interact with. If things you have the power to change it. If you don't, change your relationship to it. Change your perspective. And life can be whatever you want it to be. And I know I asked y'all to comment and stuff, and I ain't read not one comment, and I apologize. So feel free to ask more questions. Marivella says, how important is it to co-create with the universe? Is your relationship with yourself key to create? Yeah, your relationship with yourself, that's the master key, right? That's why, once again, self-knowledge, self-love, your own personal relationship, because you are the universe. It's the one song. The universe is one song, one infinite wave. Jade said something earlier, it's like a sine wave, form and formless. It's literally fluctuating, oscillating between those two poles, and you are in the center giving expression to form and formless, And the frequency in which you choose to interact with that That's what matters more than anything. More than anything. Now, it's different psychology that you can look at. Now, I've heard a couple master teachers say that, you're God, but you're not the universe. I don't wholeheartedly agree with that. Brother Freeman L, he's the one that said that, right? I don't agree with that. And what differentiates my viewpoint from his is that I have the understanding and relationship to the non-self, the non-self aspect of creation. And the more that you can tune into infinite intelligence, universal knowledge, universal consciousness, and you can see the oneness and the divinity within all things, the more you are all things. If the essence of your spirit is God and the essence of everything in all of creation is God, and you identify with that, then you're not contracting and making your reality this, oh my God, it's just me. There's nothing out there. I don't see everybody's just horrible and they're, I hate society, and you're not in that mode. Oh my God, I can see the God in you. That's what namaste is. The divinity within me, right? Salutes the divinity within you. We are one. So it starts with you. And this is why you can see, for everybody, if you have family issues going on, you can't change your family members. But if you change yourself, then your relationship to your family member changes. Simple as that. You can't project it outward or whatever, but because you changed, oh wow, now everything's all lovely and peaceful. And a year ago it was it was horrible. It was at each other's throats and everything else. But your self-fulfilling prophecy and changing yourself, changing your own inner talk, your own experience, change your reality and your relationship to that thing. This applies to everything. Literally everything. It starts with you. But everything else is affected by you. The more that you see the infinite intelligence and everything, the more that you have control over your entire reality. But if you're contracted and in the state of, oh my God, it's just me, or oh no, this dual type of delusional reality in the lower astral realms, then you just separate yourself. And yes, you're going to suffer. Yes, you're going to, have a bad self-image and negative things are going to happen to you because you're disconnecting yourself from, your divine abundance. And, I suggest that, you work your way up. That's all you ever can do. Wherever you're at right now is perfect. Wherever you're at right now, you're perfect just the way you are. In the realm and level of consciousness that you're in, you're perfect. And everybody else is too. I promise you that. You cannot not be perfect. For the level of consciousness and the realms in which you inhabit, mentally, astrally, and physically, you are a perfect vibrational match for it. You are perfect just the way you are. Now, if you want to elevate and move into higher levels of experience and consciousness, well, that's up to you to decide. But wherever you're at, right here and right now, you're perfect for it. Trust yourself. Love yourself. Once again, anything you would like to change it. If you don't think you have the power to, you're lying to yourself. Whatever level you're in, it's a delusional realm. It's going to tell you can't do it. Stay here with us, and it's going to feed off your energy. So it's perfectly imperfect. Nope. That's a duality. You are perfect just the way you are. There's nothing in all creation that's not perfect, and I mean that. Everything, it's all one, and it's growing into higher levels of perfection. Everything. It's the nature of reality. Everything is growing and evolving. Right here, right now, in the state of the world, with all its suffering and all its beauty, all its homelessness and all its wealth and riches, it is all perfect. It is all part of the divine plan. There is nothing outside of God and infinite intelligence. There is nothing. There is not a dual opposite force that can take away infinite intelligence or anything like that. It's perfect just the way it is, and it is steadily growing and evolving. And this is an important aspect to look at, because if you separate yourself and tell yourself anything other than that, then you are going to be blocking your blessings. You are going to be blocking yourself from God. And so many people do it. So many people do it because they have this idea and concept, and maybe they just don't understand karma. They haven't crossed those bridges yet. But the more you can understand the oneness of all, it's atonement at one mint, at one mind, with the infinite intelligence. Everything Everything is everything. The all is all. There is nothing separate from that. But if you tell yourself, oh no, this is good and this is evil and this is, and go into that, yes, negative things happen, undesirable things happen, but it's all karmic and it's all God. If any of the negative, traumatic stuff didn't happen to you, you wouldn't be who you are now. For where you were in that state, and when it happened to you, it was perfect for you. For you to grow and cross the bridges you needed to cross so you can grow into higher levels of perfection. Society is no different. Society is no different. And like I said, it's all dependent on what realm you want to be in. If you want to be stuck into the lower realms, then you're going to just see suffering everywhere. You're going to create more suffering because that's what you're paying attention to. You got to fight for this, I got to do that, or I'm impoverished and everything else, and self-fulfilling prophecy. You're stuck in those lower realms. It's not to say they don't exist, but even in those lower realms, it's perfect for just the way it is. It's why those realms exist. And for those who are seeking to grow and evolve, that's your vehicle to grow and evolve. It's through those lower realms. I asked earlier, what's the difference between an angel and a demon? Tell me. Somebody please tell me. Please tell me. Because I guarantee you there's nobody in here that didn't learn more from their demons than they will ever learn from their angels. I promise you that. You have to see both ends of the coin. It says, can you explain what karma really is? Not the westernized, watered down version. So, there's a concept in Buddhism that only a Buddha could fully understand karma. And this is why I teach what I teach, right? Because for those of you that's new here, thank you, drop it in the comments, let me know if this is your first time here. But I teach a course in self-mastery and how to train your intuition, how to train your spirit. So you literally develop a very flexible, universal mind. How you attain Christ consciousness, universal consciousness. And Buddhism, it's the Bodhi mind, or Bodhi mind. And this level of consciousness is where you can see and understand universal law. You literally have to develop the flexibility of your mind and release these lower astral things, these belief structures, these things that were projected upon you primarily for your survival, for your growth and evolution that you took on as a child from society, from culture, from religion, and all these different things. And it's for you to become the person who you are. It's all part of the divine plan, all of it, 100% of it. This is all part of it. Once again, there's nothing outside of God, but you cannot understand God or karma or universal law unless you can see it for what it is. You have to develop the mind to the point in which you can see it for what it is. This is what Christ consciousness is, or cosmic universal consciousness, or the Bodhi mind. Karma transcends time and space. A big part of what I teach in Hermetic alchemy, Hermetic magic is, okay, well, how do you have access to your past life karma, your future life karma? It's part of your Akashic nature that, you're nothing outside of time and space you don't have access to. Your past tendencies and light and skills and positive merit and karma you've accumulated, and even all your future when you have access to it right now, but you have to be able to develop yourself to have access to it and to be able to see through time and space. Karma functions throughout time and space, and it's something that you have to be able to change your relationship to time and space in order to fully get it and grasp it. Yes, you can say, it's you reap what you sow and then things like that, but it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Everything that you do carries a type of karma. Anywhere you place your mind, you're essentially tuning into a certain channel, a karmic stream. Think about how channels work. You're channeling a certain type of energy. And anywhere you place your mind, that karmic stream, you jump on that river and you start flowing down that river. Now, that river can affect the past or the present. That river runs through all time and space. And all your choices are the rocks in the river. So it's going to dictate how you flow through that river. and once again, it's still a river running through time and space. The beginning of time, end of time, part of that river. When we see, the people that suffer, and even you're suffering through time and space, remember, time is not real. Everything's happening in the now moment. You can die today and then be born a slave. The moment you wake, you reawaken because of the negative karma that you caused today. So when I say that everything is perfect, I mean this. Everything is divinely perfect, and everything is happening right now. And just the way that your spirit expresses the movement of energy through time, that's why we experience time, is through just the movement of energy. Time is not real. It's just moving from one state to another, and a different density of light is how you have your experience right here and right now. And that's how karma expresses itself. So it don't make sense to normal people. But it is even deeper than that. But once again, you have to change your relationship to time and space to really get it and grasp it and understand it. If you want to change your relationship to time and space, feel free to check out the link in the bio. I have a whole course on hermetic alchemy, hermetic magic, self-mastery, how to reprogram your DNA, how to purify your astral chi, how to refine your spirit, how to learn from creation, how to free your mind, free your spirit, how to enter into nirvana, mental wandering, mental transference, how to master your experience, step by step. And we even practice together. So like I said, if this interests you, check out the link in the bio. There's also a promo code too. If you use the promo code MOON, it's like 50% off. It's a year-long subscription. There's hundreds of videos in there. We do weekly Zoom meetings, usually on Sunday and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. And it's a really, really beautiful thing. You want to master your energy. You want to literally train your psychic abilities, master the elements, so life becomes easy and beautiful, and you start to really understand universal law, dharma, understand karma, and gain control of your experience. This is one of the most efficient ways to do it in a universal level, and it's beautiful. And there's plenty of people in here who are currently in the course or have taken the course in the past. You can ask them, about their perspective. Check out the link in the bio. You can join the Discord. There's testimonials in there, all types of stuff. We have an app in which you can access all the videos and even book the Zoom meetings where we're doing all the practices. And like the energy aspect is the primary thing, because through understanding energy, working with energy is a tangible thing. You breathe that energy in and out of your pores. You can reprogram your DNA. You can you're literally developing your intuition and liberating yourself. It's literally the most liberating thing you could possibly learn. How do you develop your intuition? Talk about word magic and etymology. Share this all the time. Intuition means to learn from within and above. How do you access the God self? How do you give expression to your highest light body? It's through your intuition. Within, tuition, to learn from above, to learn from within and above. And how do you integrate that and then release your attachment to all the different lower, more astral energies? And it's life-changing. It's beautiful, For anybody else that's interested, I know it's kind of close to the date, but September 12th through the 19th, I still got a couple spots for the Sedona retreat and workshop. It's Initiation to Hermetics retreat. It's in Sedona, Arizona. And, my goal is to make sure you leave a changed person. So all the foundational practices to even all the higher practices, and getting a full understanding and transmission of what Hermetics is, how to train your psychic abilities. Lots of things will be transmitted and abhishekad and practice. So when you leave, your whole reality will be different. and I mean this. And in many different ways. So that's available for everybody. There's a promo code and payment plans and stuff for everything. So if you're interested, by all means, just let me know. It's not all about money. If you're really dedicated to yourself and you want to grow and develop yourself so you can be a creator, you can be a teacher, you can bring higher frequency, concepts, ideas, technology, systems into this physical realm, and you're truly doing it for the benefit of others and also for, your own personal benefit. There's nothing wrong with that. And as this is one of your goals to do that, just message me. We can always work something out. I'm always down to work with anybody, especially if you're actually dedicated to yourself. And this is what I do. So I just really suggest that for everybody. Once again, look at the inner talk of your mind. Talk about word magic. What is the inner talk of your mind? How do you view reality? How do you relate to reality? How do you relate to your environment? How do you relate to the people you love and your family and, society? Because these things matter. This is what dictates how you relate to it and how you experience it. And it can be very easy. People create their own suffering. And for somebody that's suffering, what do you mean I create my own suffering? Society is horrible. People create their own suffering. And I mean, like 100% of it. I can't even break it down less than that. 100% of it. If you resonate with some asshole that that you see every day and they get on your nerves and stuff, like, you resonate with them, you are bringing that into your experience. There's something that your subconscious mind is trying to tell you and teach you. Your spirit, your God self, your guardian angel, God, is trying to tell you through that person. That's why everything in your reality is a mirror. Everything. So if you're experiencing undesirable aspects in your life, you don't look external to figure out what it is. You look within yourself. That's why know thyself is a thing. Know thyself, and you will come to know the universe and the gods. You have to know yourself. And everything that you experience within your life is a reflection. It's a mirror of the self. All the people you resonate with, you wouldn't be surrounded by the people you're surrounded with if you weren't a vibrational match to those people in some way, some form. And I hope everybody really looks at that. What is it about me that resonates with that? You can look at your partner. They are a reflection of you in many different ways. And it won't be a direct thing, but if you're in a partnership that isn't serving you, or something that person has qualities in which you don't like, it's something about you that's bringing that into your experience. There's something about you that says, this is what I need for my learning. So look at everything as a lesson. Remember, this is the game of life. This is the game of life, and learn the rules of the game. Because the game is supposed to be easy. The cheat codes is to make it easy. And you can only do it through knowing you. Because the higher part of you is always leading you, the karma of your experiences is always leading you to learn from your experience. That's how we learn, through the game of life. And this is interesting too, because I've always viewed life like this. Since I was little, since I was like 3 or 4, oh wow, I learned this, I gained this skill, this level of awareness, and now my life is easier because of it. So literally gain your XP, your experience points, get the level up, get new power-ups and things like that, but you have to see the game for what it is. Learn the lessons. Oh wow, that's all I learned, because everything, this is how our spirit functions. There's always a higher part of our mind, our spirit, that's guiding the lower parts. And that light is always pulling you. You know what's good and bad. You know what's going to lead you to a high place. You know what's going to lead you to a low place. There's nobody that doesn't have that. It's what your conscience is. So follow that. Allow the higher parts of you to guide you through it, and take the lessons and learn and integrate the lessons, and you will constantly level up and evolve at a very, very fast rate. If you want to develop this to an extreme level, this is where the course comes in. My path of service is to teach very high level beings how to tap into their divinity that they've been working through many, many incarnations, and they can start from there, where you become your own teacher. That evolutionary curve that we're all on, it goes from this to to that, and you can learn things outside of time and space. All the skill, knowledge, awareness that you will gain over many more incarnations, you can have it right here and right now. All the light that you cultivated over all your past incarnations, you can have it right here and right now. But you have to be dedicated to yourself. You have to see it for what it is and be willing to let go of your learned behaviors and attachments to certain ideas and concepts, because they're all attachments, all of them. And it's important that you're able to do that, because everything that we've been through up to this point was to teach us. They were all lessons. They were all bridges to cross. But you cannot continue to grow and evolve if you're standing on a bridge. You have to walk across it and then meet the next bridge. And then meet the next bridge, and I mean this. This is one of the most important things. I'm going to leave you all with this. Is one of the most important aspects as you're crossing these bridges is that you're able to let go of some of the biggest, most beautiful bridges that you've ever crossed. Because even though it could have made a huge change in your life, and gave birth to the biggest level of growth and evolution in your life, if you stay bound to it and you stand on it, guess what? You're just going to be standing on that bridge that no longer serves you. As deep and profound and magical as it was a bridge to get you somewhere else. And the more you can understand that, the easier life becomes. But once again, the game of life, you have to know the rules of the game. You have to learn how the game operates in order for you to be successful at it. I remember I went to this new moon ceremony in Sedona, and it was this woman, Rebecca, and she grew up in Israel. You know, she's Jewish and grew up in Israel. And one of the things that we had to do for this new moon ceremony, we had to write out, a little bit about us and share it. There was only like one person that was there that I already knew, and it was like maybe 12 of us. And I share that, I love video games, and I've always been like a high level gamer. And any game I play, I guarantee you, I'm top 1%. If I put my time and energy in it, top 1%, guaranteed. Call of Duty, 108 in the world, hardcore domination. If I play, I'm winning, not losing. I don't care if everybody else on the team sucks. The whole team gonna die because of me. It's a literal thing, It's always been, into games and stuff like that. Even sharing, I actually opened one of the first virtual reality arcades in America, and I've always been this high level gamer. Anything I put my mind to, and the way that she said, well, you're one of the highest level gamers in this game too. And I was like, oh shit. Never thought about it that way. But it's a thing, and it's the game of life. And the more you can see, even in video games, in most video games, there's patterns that you begin to recognize and see. What are the patterns which are causing you suffering, right? It's like any other game. What are the patterns that allow you to move more, with ease and not take damage and to gain more experience points? Developing those are habits. Playing a video game, everything you're developing a type of muscle memory, and the more you play it in a specific way, the more that muscle memory gets ingrained and it becomes habitual, and it can work in your favor. A lot of people have developed negative muscle memory in their mind and their physical muscles and their emotions, and just habitually they bring suffering and hardship into their experience because that's how they've been playing the game. Hey, I've been playing the Dragon Ball game for like 5 years, 6 years, Dragon Ball Fighters, and learning the fighting system in this game, it's very easy to pick up negative habits. And there's people that they call button mashers in fighting games, right? If you're just mashing the buttons trying to do something, then you're just going to get beat up. If you're playing on a high level, there's no way possible that you can win by just mashing all the buttons. It's not possible. You might be able to win the lower level people and then things like that because nobody else knows how to play on those levels too. But if you want to master it, then you have to play it like a master. You have to understand the entire system. And it's not until you get to that level in which you want to understand the rules of the game and actually work with the rules of the game that you can be successful and be in that top 1%. But everybody has the capacity to do it. You just have to be willing to do it. And like I said, it's all types of stuff you can subscribe to. Most stuff out there is all subjective. Anyway, there's only one objective reality, and until you touch nirvana, you're not there yet. And this is across the board for everybody. In this physical realm, this applies to everybody. Even in the non-physical realm, this applies to everything. Until you hit nirvana, you're not there yet. You have not experienced the truth. And this applies to every being in all of creation. So I suggest, looking at, what do I need to unlearn? What new habits do I need to form? What muscle memory am I working on? Because you could be, working towards a type of habit that you've established that's not working in your favor. And when it comes to the Dragon Ball game, I developed all types of, weird habits, in the time that I've been playing that game. And I don't play it much. I played it, since the day it came out, and every now and then I play it for, a couple hours or something throughout the week. But it wasn't until, let me actually learn this. Let me take my time, step back, and unlearn these negative habits and stuff that are getting me killed. But some people will just live their whole life like that. I'm unwilling to unlearn any of it and just continue to give expression to these negative habits and continue to get killed through life. Some people take on, I've got to suffer through life and this and that, and that's the habit that they form within their mind and wonder why life keep beating their ass. It's not because that's what life is, that's just a habit in which they've developed. That's how they relate to it, and it's what they keep telling themselves. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be very, very easy. It could be magical. It could be beautiful. So, any other questions before I go? I just wanted to share that. So, I'm struggling with the relationship with my adult son, hardest thing ever. Once again, when it comes to that, this is something I know a lot about, because our relationships, especially with beings, humans, especially with our children, it has to be cultivated in a way in which you allow them sovereignty to be who and what they are. If you are trying to force your beliefs or projections on how you want them to be or what you believe them to be or how you think they should navigate and what they want to do, then you're just going to create all types of division and suffering between you and that child. They are their own sovereign being. Did you give birth to them? Yeah. Are they yours? No. They're not. They're not yours. They're sovereign beings just like you are. And in order to get the most out of your relationship, once again, change your relationship to yourself. Change yourself. Change the way that you view it. And watch how that tension and stuff kind of dissipates. Because that's the only way that you can fully influence them is through you. You cannot project something on somebody and expect them to just change. Think about how hard it is for you to change anything within your psyche, within your emotions, within your habits, yourself, and think about how little of a chance you have trying to impose that on somebody else. But the key is you change the things within yourself, and you can literally just watch the people around you change. And it's beautiful. It's the least intuitive thing for most people, but this is how it works. This is literally how it works. You change your relationship to them, that relationship changes. And like I said, you can feel mental tension and pressure and projections from your environment and from the people around you. It's a thing. You leave your trash out on the curb, and trash people came Wednesday and it's Friday, you're going to feel your neighbor's pressure, like, oh my gosh, I need to move this. I need to go get it. You'll be at work, and then one of your neighbors is thinking about it, and you can feel it. The stuff your parents didn't approve of you doing and wanting, you can feel it. It's a big part of your consciousness and your self-image and the way that you view your world and your parents and everything else. It's a thing. It's there. It's a part of who and what you are. But most people don't see the karma of that. They're not sensitive to it. It affects them, but they can't see the timeline. They don't have the relationship to time and space that highly intuitive people do or psychic people do, where they can see, oh, I'm getting this mental and emotional pressure to think this way or feel this way or to be this way, and there's resistance there. It's resistance. And once again, change yourself, change your relationship to it, and watch that tension and that pressure start to dissipate, and you can relate to them better because you begin to see them for who they are and not your projection for how you want them to be, and then you can work with them from there. And like I said, having children is one of the hardest things, because of that. And like I said, we're taught that our children are ours. They're not yours. They are their own sovereign being, and you have to accept them and love them for who they are and work with them from there, not from your projection of what you want them to be, because that just creates more space and more tension. So, I hope, and I know for a fact this went out to more than than just you who asked that question. And like I said, I've raised my kids, I've raised other people's kids, I've raised kids that have kids, so believe me, I know, and I mean lots of them, so this is from personal experience, and mental, astral, physical realities too, so I just wanted to share that with everybody. So once again, for anybody that's interested, you want to join in the course, it's a year-long subscription. It's super cheap. We have hundreds of videos how to master the elements, how to develop your psychic abilities, your clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, mental transference, mental wandering, all the good stuff. How to learn from the spiritual hierarchy, how to tune into light and reprogram your DNA and to become your own teacher. It's a very, very beautiful process. And if you use the promo code MOON, you get 50% off. It's the Align to Your Highest Master Key Psychic Ascension program. We have 2 Zoom meetings every week. On the weekends that I don't have things going on, which is rare, because most of the time if I'm doing like a market or a retreat or anything, I'll still try to fit it in there. But twice a week, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and you get instant access to all of it. And it's beautiful, and it's life changing. There's also monthly options. I think the monthly option is like it's super cheap right now. I think it's like $50, and you get access to level 1, level 2, and the Master Key libraries, as well as the group Zoom meetings too. So we're doing all the practices together, and Q&A and everything else. If you want to pick my mind about anything, you can book a one-on-one. If you have a lot of stuff stuck to you and need a blessing or some purification, or got literal demons or succubi and stuff like that you want to work through and dissolve, that's what the quantum healing session is for too. So check out the link in the bio. Once again, if you have any questions, you can hit me up. If you want to set up a payment plan for anything, you can shoot me a message. Other than that, I hope you all have a very, very blessed and beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you guys later. All right, peace.